Congratulations, Coach, on a great win. At the end of Game 6 against Toronto, you had mentioned how you focused on shutting down Lowry. Was there a plan like that tonight to get this win?
Well, every game we talked about is going to be different. Down in Miami, we felt that there was the two games that we lost, that we a couple possessions here that we could have find a way to win. And tonight, guys were all on the same page, executing the game plan, and we found a way to win at home.
Rob Boone with Newsday. You guys had 15 3-pointers tonight, franchise record for the playoffs. Is this the best you would say you guys have shot the ball, especially from three, all postseason?
I don't know. I would have to go back and look. Sometimes the playoffs are about timely shots, not shooting the best. And so tonight, as the stats say, when you shoot 60% from the three, hopefully that gives you a chance to win, and tonight it did.
Jason, Andrew Kay with the New York Times. Mears is a guy that you've shown some trust in over the course of the year. How big was he for you tonight, and what kind of flexibility does he give your offense?
Well, the big thing about this team is that we trust everyone. And, when you look at Dre and what Mirza did tonight for us off the bench was big. And, the way D Will set the tone by, being aggressive and attacking. So, again, it's just not Mirza that we trust. We trust everybody. And, the last two games, Mirza shot the ball extremely well. We're good.
Hey, Jason, Andy Vasquez with the Bergen Record. What did Andre Blash do for you guys?
Coming off the bench tonight, he obviously didn't get a lot of time in the last game, but how big was that? What he provided for you guys?
It was big, like I just said. When you look at our bench, Mirza and Dre, they were big for us. AK, another big, great performance for him. We got him playing the 5. So, I thought the guys that played tonight, it was a team effort. Everybody contributed, and we found a way to win.
Jason, Steph Romani from the Daily News. How about Mirza's confidence taking that 3, and how important is confidence for a long range shooter?
Which 3? He took 7 of them.
No, I'm talking about his 3-point shooting in general.
Just in general.
Yeah.
That's what he does. That's a weapon that, that's what he brings to the table. He stretches it at the 4. We might have even had him play at the 5. But, he stretches the defense. He doesn't lack confidence, and that's what makes him a great player.
Jason, Mitch Lawrence, Daily News. LeBron first quarter goes 6 and 7 at 16, and are you thinking this might be one of those nights where he might go for 40 plus?
It's a 48-minute game. I'm not counting how many times he scored. I'm looking at, the shots that he's taken. He was making them in the first quarter, but we didn't lose patience. We stuck with the game plan, and we found a way to win.
Coach Howard Mandel, Sports on Earth. I'm curious, when you look at Joe Johnson's game seeming to be elevated in the postseason, shooting for a higher percentage and taking shots during the game, not just at the end, whether you think that there's a conscious decision to take more of a leadership role here, or even there's just something that's allowing him to play better right now.
Who's that, Joe?
Joe.
Oh, yeah, Joe's been great for us all year. He is one of the leaders on this team. He probably doesn't say a lot on the court or to you guys, but, in that locker room, those guys look to Joe as a leader, and he's playing extremely well for us right now.
Coach Beckley Mason, New York Times. Played some lineups tonight that hadn't seen the court earlier in the series. How much of playing against the Heat is just finding ways to surprise them, make them uncomfortable?
Well, you're not going to surprise the champs. They've seen everything. So it's a matter of being able to execute for 48 minutes and staying disciplined, and that's what we did tonight.
Darrell Johnson, New York Beacon. Coach, as a future Hall of Fame point guard, how great was it to see 26 assists on 38 field goals?
Well, that's the way we play. Again, against the Heat, they're a great defensive team, and they're going to put you in different situations. But I thought the way we shared the ball, there was one possession where there was maybe 6 or 7 passes, and we ended up with a wide open and that's how we played all year, and hopefully we can build on that tonight.
Jason, Mike Mazzio, ESPNYork.com. What did you think about the way Darren was able to kind of orchestrate the offense, set the tempo, and kind of attack for you guys?
I thought he was great. I thought he's been doing it all series. Again, he's attacking, getting to the paint. He's finding his teammates, and then also he's setting the pace. You know, when we get a rebound, we're trying to get out early and go.
Okay, thank you.
Erik, it looked like the ball movement was pretty good early and then kind of came to a stop a little bit in the third quarter. What did you see offensively beyond just their threes on the other end?
Offensively for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we were in a good enough flow in the first half, and then really probably tried to win the game more offensively in the second half. And they got virtually everything. Everybody remembers all the threes that they hit toward the end of the third quarter, but they were getting drives, cuts, offensive rebounds, in transition, and then the shots stopped going. So once it stopped going, and we missed quite a few in a row, then the ball stopped moving from there. To sum it up, they outplayed us. They outplayed us, particularly in that whole second half.
Jason Shaw, BrooklynFans.com. This morning at shoot-around, you said you expected a big performance from the Nets, and it really didn't come till about 3 minutes left in the second and then well into the fourth. How impressed were you with their third quarter tonight compared to other third quarters in this series?
Well, we have respect for our opponent. They're very capable. They have proven veteran playoff tested guys. And we said it coming into the game that if we played a similar game that we did in game 2, we wouldn't be able to win it on the road. We just knocked down a heck of a lot of shots, particularly in that fourth quarter, and our defense really stepped up in the fourth quarter. But it was not a consistent effort in game 2, and that was very similar tonight. The shots didn't go, and then you see the result change.
Erik, Andrew Rudd, Sports Network. Do you expect a higher level of urgency on Monday? Because last year in the playoffs, you followed up every loss with a win.
We don't try to compare anything to last year. This year is totally different, but we have to learn from this and approach Game 4 differently.
Erik in the back, their three-point shooting, was it a matter of them just being open for the looks they got? Was it a matter of you not rotating the way you want? And why so many looks for them and such consistency from them from beyond the arc?
A little bit of both. They got into a great rhythm. And even their inside the 3 shots were open for a while, particularly in that second half. So teams can be dangerous when you give them a lot of rhythm, but you have to give them credit. They have guys that can knock down shots, and they move the ball well. They moved the ball extremely well in the second half. In that third quarter, they had a couple possessions where it was multiple passes for open shots, and we just have to step up those multiple efforts against those type of plays.
Coach, Andre Blash didn't get a ton of run in game 2, obviously played very well tonight. What's it like playing a team with that kind of depth that can show you a lot of different looks?
Yeah, they're similar to us. So we have that respect for them. It's different guys that can hurt you. We know who the main guys are for each team, but when guys step out of the box, that does make a difference.
One more.
Erik, the rebounding differential, was that a matter of something you guys didn't do on the boards? Were you disappointed by that? I know you've succeeded with similar rebounding differentials, but tonight was it more problematic for your guys?
Well, there was clearly some possessions that hurt us. So we're definitely not going to throw that away. It's not only those possessions, but the ones that were dancing around on the floor that led to big baskets.
Erik in the back, did they do something to LeBron to stop the run that he was on in the first quarter? After the first quarter, he didn't do much.
Well, they have a good defensive team, and it's not something where you'll be able to attack a defense mano-a-mano. We understand that the ball has to move at certain times during the series. We've moved the ball, worked together, 5-man basketball. Great, but 13 assists will not get it done. Okay, thank you.
Hi, Joe. You've had essentially the best playoff run here of your career, and you're playing as well as you have with the Nets. And I'm just wondering whether there's any sort of conscious effort on your part to take more of a leadership role on the court, or how, if not, how you attribute how well you've been playing so far in the playoffs?
My job is easy. You know, we got so many guys, man, who are very skilled and with high IQs, you know, and playing a game of basketball. So, you know, I don't have to come out and force anything. I just kind of let the game come to me, play within our system, and good things will happen.
Len Robbins for BrooklynNets.com, for Paul and for Joe. You hear so much about it's 0-2, it's 0-2. From your chair, does that matter at all, or does the only thing that matters is it's 2-1 now?
You know, when we went down 2-0, we didn't panic. We knew we didn't do a few things right in the first 2 games, so we said, you know, we don't need to panic. We're gonna get the stuff right. We need to get right, come back home and execute. You know, right now we just gotta take it one game at a time. You know, you lose game 3, the series is definitely not in your favor. So we got to play with urgency each and every night. Tonight was the type of urgency that we're going to need for the rest of the series. You know, even that it's easy to have that at home, but we got to have the same type of urgency when we go back on the road.
Joe and Paul, Devin Carpetier from the Brooklyn game. You guys had, I think, 6 guys in double figures. You got 40 points off the bench. What is it like to have that kind of depth here in the playoffs against a team like Miami, which, you know, kind of relies on their top 3 or 4 guys?
I think it's huge for us. You know, that means we got a great collective team effort, and you can't game plan for that. You know, you got guys coming in, guys coming off the bench, and playing with a lot of energy and effort. It helps us out as a team, and you know, it gives us that extra boost. So, you know, when our bench is playing great, you know, we're playing great as a team.
Question for Paul Mitch Lawrence, Daily News. LeBron first quarter makes 6 of 7 shots and he has 16. And you've been in some games where he's had some big. Did you think he was kind of off to the races there and might have one of those nights?
You know, he has that ability definitely, but on the positive side, when he was off to a quick start, I thought, you know, the other guys weren't touching the ball. You know, and we said all along, we got to be able to limit some of these other guys that have been key for him, you know, such as Ray Allen, Mario Chalmers. So, you know, LeBron is going to be LeBron. He has the ball in his hand a lot. He's going to get his touches. He's going to get his shots. When he gets up to a quick start, he's feeling good taking the shots. We feel like, you know, that's great. We got to try to stop these other guys. And I thought that's what we did great tonight. So LeBron, he had his good numbers. He shot the ball well. But we limited the other guys, and that's going to be key for us.
Boone and then Schimmer. Ron Boone, Newsday. Joe, you guys had 15 3-pointers tonight. I think you had 5 yourself. When you were in that flow in the fourth quarter, especially when you're hitting those threes, the crowd's getting into, what's that moment like for you guys?
It's a momentum boost for us. You know, obviously the basket seems as though it's a little bigger, but you know, I thought that the thing that was great about it was the ball movement. You know, us getting to the teeth of the defense, kicking out for wide open shots. That was the biggest key. So, you know, I think that's what kind of started, you know, the guys making threes and, you know, us kind of going on that run.
Schimmer.
John Schimmer, NBA.com. Joe, here. From your perspective, is Mirza a different player this year, or is he a better player, or is it just about opportunity and having the trust of the coaches?
It's opportunity. You know, he didn't really get a chance to play much last year in that Chicago series, so you know, this year has been different. You know, he's been been a big part of what we're doing, especially in this postseason, because you know he's a guy we definitely gonna need, and when he's hot like that, you know, we're a tough team to guard.
Andrew, then home.
Paul, Andrew Kay with the New York Times. That you had a moment in the fourth quarter where you kind of went to the sideline over the scores table and you were looking into the crowd. The atmosphere in this building has kind of been an ongoing theme of these playoffs. What did you think of the vibe in the building tonight?
Loved it. You know, we feed off of that stuff. I mean, I'm the type of guy who plays with a lot of emotion, and the crowd is going and they're into it. It's like an adrenaline rush for me. You know, and I look up there and I try to get them pumped, even when I'm on the sideline, when they're going. You know, I just love the atmosphere when it's like that. You know, whether it be at home or on the road where they're booing us. I love just the atmosphere of the game of basketball, and it's like an adrenaline rush. It's the reason I play the game.
Paul Omyamusa of ESPN New York. You guys as a group have not been in an 0-2 hole before. What did you learn about the Nets tonight, and what do you think you guys showed the Heat?
Oh, we wasn't going to panic. I mean, you know, we wanted to show them we're not scared of them. Everybody, you know, figure, you know, come out and say in the series, oh, we talking about getting swept. I'm hearing just, you know, whispers and stuff. And I'm like, we don't need to panic. They did some good things. All they did right there was hold up the home court. Now, it's our job to hold up the home court. But unfortunately, we got to win one in Miami. And if we're going to hold down our home court to get the series. So we're just not going to panic, take it one game at a time, come out here, game 4 with the same intensity, and then be ready.
Okay, thank you.
Vincent Davis, Amsterdam News. For the first half, it was pretty close between you and the Nets. How did it change? What happened to, for you to lose the game?
Third quarter. Third quarter was a deciding factor for us. Scored 14 points, and they allowed them to get whatever they wanted, and that's what changed the game around.
LeBron, obviously, your game has never just been all about scoring, but when you start off the game the way you did, and you only get one shot in the second quarter, do you need to shoot one more than that?
Sometimes it's just the way the game is played, and it felt great. Obviously, I felt great in the first quarter. The ball just didn't tend to find my hand a lot in the second quarter, and that's what happened.
Hey, LeBron, Shlomo Sprung from Sheridan Hoops. Do you think there was a lack of urgency or aggressiveness in this game for you guys?
I think offensively we started off aggressive. I mean, we had 25 free throws. I think that's our high for the series, if not our high, close to it. I don't think it's enough sense of urgency defensively. They shot 52%. They had 15 threes. We're not going to win like that. We got our rebound by 16. We're not going to win like that on the road. We did a great job of not turning the ball over once again and not allowing them to have fast break points, but we allowed them to get too many rebounds, a couple second chance points, and some open looks in transition.
Bo Hamilton, Sportsnet, New York. Ron, when a team shoots right in front of you, when a team shoots 15 to 25 from behind the three-point arc, is that something that you look at the next game and say, well, there's no way they're going to shoot that well, or is it something that concerns you defensively?
Well, we make adjustments going to game 4. Some of it came off our defensive schemes to shrink the floor on their perimeter guys and close out on their shooters. And a lot of the threes that they made were contested. And, you clap your hands and pat them on the back for those ones they made because that's just our scheme. And but you don't go in the game saying that they won't make 15. They will if we don't get close to them and not put more pressure on them.
LeBron, when you came out in the final minute and had a chance to absorb what happened, what was going through your mind as you watched the end of it?
They played a better game than us tonight, obviously. We had some mistakes that we can clean up. Kind of just replaying the game in my mind some, but also just understanding that this is a series. I've been part of a lot of series and understand the game or series never won in 2 games or in 3 games, and you move on to the next one and you learn from the previous one how you can get better going to the following.
And the three-point shooting had been so big for you guys coming in. Were you guys able to get the same looks, or was it just a matter of they weren't going in?
We got some great looks, especially in the third quarter. When we didn't make many shots, we got some great looks. I know I had 3 good looks from the three-point line. Shane had 2 good looks that didn't go. CB had another one from the corner. They were wide open looks. So sometimes it's a miss or make that dictate the flow of the game. 8 for 24, obviously from the three-point line. They were 60%, we was 33%. That's a big stat. The three-point line is a huge equalizer for both teams, and they won it tonight on that side.
LeBron, Howard Magdal, Sports on Earth. I'm curious what you've seen out of Joe Johnson in the first 3 games that has allowed him to be as efficient as he's been offensively, not just tonight, but also in the first 2 losses.
Joe's a good player, great player actually. He's a big load. He's a matchup problem for a lot of defenses, and he makes tough shots. He makes tough contested shots, and I think out of his 4 first threes that he made, he was 4 for 5. I think 2 of them came in transition, but 2 of them was us playing our defense and him knocking down shots. And he's an unbelievable player. He plays at his own tempo. Can't speed him up. He's a big body too as well, so he can get physical with us as well. So he was a really, really solid, great player that we have in our league.